How's the squad looking ahead of this weekend?
We're assessing a few today because we've had I think 4 or 5 players off all week with illness, so they've managed to come into train today. So we'll see how they are this morning, and then take it from there. Really, it's really difficult to plan because a few of them have been starting recently as well. So we'll see how they are.
4 or 5 on top of the ones that were missing.
Yes, yeah. We've been quite down on numbers this week. We trained with, I think, 12 or 13 players last time we were in. So we'll see who looks in good shape today, because it's difficult if you've missed a whole week of training to then play a full game of football. But we've got fit boys and they want to play. That's the big thing. They want to be involved. So we'll see how they are today and then take it from there. Really.
It's where you ran maybe a bigger squad than usual because of COVID maybe at the start of the season. Is this where that comes into play? Because even though you were missing quite a few last week, we were very strong 11 and good players on the bench as well that could get on.
Yeah, I agree. That was we understood we don't want to carry excess players, but with the period we've just come out of with COVID and everything, and we knew that a lot of our players hadn't done a pre-season because of when they came on board, or because of injury and stuff. We had to make sure in January that we had enough in the squad to take us through to the end of the season. And it's sometimes we've had a really full squad where we're leaving a couple of seniors out of the actual match day squad. But like say last week and certainly this week, we've been really low on numbers. But like you say, we'll always put out a good team and a motivated team, and the ones that we'll have ready for tomorrow, they'll be ready to go.
The ones that have been out maybe a bit longer, Stephen O'Donnell, Nathan McGinley, are you likely to see them before the end of the season?
Nathan, no, unfortunately. So, but Sods has trained a little bit this week as well. So that's for the first time in a month. So we're just seeing how he is, I think that's it. Apart from the injured, or the ones who have been injured, I think Sods is the only one that's returned this week for training. So, but we don't. He's been out for a month with a muscle injury, so we have to make sure he's in the best condition to play the game.
Much just been nice actually to have him this one, just have that bit of experience in leadership again, especially when you're last week and you can't name a full bench and things like that.
Yeah, we need all our players really to be available, and we need experience, we need youth, we need energy, we need enthusiasm, we need a will to win. So there's a lot of things that we need to tick, but we've got them throughout the group of players that we have. So it's important that the thing for me is going into this 3-game scenario that we have, when our destiny and the opportunities in our own hands, that the players that are there are wanting to be there, and they're wanting to take this opportunity. They see it as a great chance to do something really good on top of what we've already done this season. And we know when we get up there, we'll be ready for the game. But the more better players we can have available and ready, and mentally ready, physically ready, then the better chance we'll have, because it'll be a tough game, as we always know. But we've already shown this season, over the course of the last 30 odd games, that we can win these games.
It's obviously been a tough run at this stage. Do you assess things on performance or results, or is it a bit of both?
No, look, first and foremost, we're here for results, and since we come back after the split, they haven't been where we wanted them to be. Excuse me. But we have to assess how we got them, and the performances behind it. So some of the performances, and I would say a lot of them, we've deserved more. And last week was case in point. There's no way we deserved to get beaten that game. We created the most opportunities, better opportunities before and after they scored. It was a deflected goal, been through all that. So you look at that and you think, well, actually the performance of the players was good. We did enough things to win the game, but you have to turn those chances into goals. You have to score more than your opponent. And that's the only thing we didn't tick the box of last week. But it's the most important thing. So we're not shying away from the fact that our results haven't mirrored some of our performances. But you can't then go on the back of, right, let's forget about trying to perform well, because we know long term that is what brings results. So we have to keep doing the things that we are doing defensively and attacking wise. but it's about just those fine margins and making sure they go our way and adding that bit of quality at both ends of the pitch. So we're realists. We understand that, but I don't think anyone could say, looking at that, look, we've been disastrous in the games, but as a clump of games, we obviously haven't picked up the points that we feel we should have, and certainly on the back of the first 20 games. But the season is a long campaign, and it's about where you are at the end, and then you look back at what you can improve. And what we've tried to do is each point of the, since we've been here, is improve and progress, and we've done that since, a year last January, from staying up to finishing top 6 to going, and that's what it is. And we know we're going to have difficult periods along the way, but it's about keeping our composure, keeping our discipline, and keep believing, and we still believe.
Have you been in a situation like this before? There's maybe a negative narrative about the team with the run just now, but I mean, you win on Saturday and you're 5th and in a European spot with the whole program.
No, look, we can't. Like I say, we have to take some of the criticism that's come out, because we haven't won enough games. So I'm not expecting everyone to say this is great, because it hasn't been great. But in my job, you have to look at the long-term picture, and so when we came in, and then did we do what we had to do first and foremost? Yes. Did we have to then try and progress it? Yes, we've done that. But we also know a club like ourselves, we're going to have periods where it's really difficult. And I think if you look at the history of the club over the last, 30, 40 years, it's probably been reasonably similar. But you have to keep your belief. But you have to sort of keep your head down a little bit sometimes and just go, okay, we understand why there's criticism, and wherever that comes from, you have to respect that people have their opinions, and that's why everyone's involved in the game. But come the end of the season, if we manage to take that step which you've just mentioned about getting European football, I don't think anyone can begrudge us that it's been a good period of 18 months for us as a club, from where we were. So, but we have to try and finish that job. So it's rolling with the punches, understanding why they're coming your way, but be ready to fight in the next round, and that's what we have to try and do.
Talk about obviously the fine margins of last week. It was pretty obvious, and a lot of the games in this league are decided by those fine margins. Is that something you have to go into even more detail maybe when you're preparing for a game, just to try and find any wee kind of advantage you can get?
Well, look, it's one of them where if I have to sit down with a player and say, look, you see this 1-on-1, you should score it, or see this shot from 8 yards out, you should hit a tie. They know that. They're intelligent guys. They're trying to do their best, and they will do their best and continue to do that. But you don't have to be told that. You know what I mean? And what can you say about the goal that went against us? Look, trying not to make it a deflected goal that bounces over your goalkeeper. Our defenders are trying their best to make a block. Liam Kelly's been wrong-footed by the shot. So, but these are things you can either sit there and feel sorry for yourself and just go, oh well, that's the way it is, or you can try and do something about it. And I've always been in my own career, in my life, that well, let's try and do something about it. That's the reality. But sometimes these margins, if you look at probably, I don't know, outside the top 3, I think there's not much to differentiate the rest of the league. So it might come down to one particular player in one team. That's the reality. But there might be the difference each week. But we're looking at our group of players, and we're looking at the ones that we're bringing through. There's lots of good things to be said about what we've done. Bringing our own young players through, like Ross Tierney, Dean Cornelius, Connor Shields. All these lads are playing at this level for the first ever time. And we have to give them the chance to grow and become accustomed to it. But what they've got is a great outlook, a great ambition to the way they train, the way they want to play. So we're giving these boys the opportunity to go and show that in a team that's at the top half of the league. So, but I know when you've got all these bullet points, but the one above it is the result. So that's what we have to do. To make everything look better is by winning a game of football. If we do that over the next 3 games, we give ourselves a good chance of looking back and going, right, where did we learn? Because we have to learn. I have to learn about this. My first full season in the SPL. about the winter break, about pre-contract players and all the different intricacies that the SPL football brings. So I've learned a lot from this season as well, and that's when we take it forward. And if we can progress again next season, then that's what we have to do. But right now we've got a great opportunity with 3 games to go to make it a special season.
And you see kind of the scenes at Ibrox last night as well. Does that kind of whet your appetite for European football as well? Will you see what kind of nights you can have if you get there?
Yeah, definitely. We talk about when we're trying to recruit players, in the summer, and we talked about the opportunity to sort of compete at that level and compete against these clubs. You see, we've been to Ibrox this season, and first time I think I don't know if it's ever or a long time gone there unbeaten in a season, and then you see Rangers beating some big European clubs there. So there's bits like that where we can talk to our players. Well, look, we're playing against these clubs, and these are getting to European finals, and we're going and hold our own at those places. So there's a lot of positive stuff to sort of be involved around Scottish football. And when you see those nights and those occasions, and I know Motherwell's experienced it in the past. I think every player that's involved in that club's got to look at that as I want a bit of that, because I think that's what you do. I think when I remember being a player and seeing other clubs get promoted, and you see them celebrating that, and it never happened to me, and I was always like, I want to be a part of that at the end of the season. And when it does happen to you, it whets the appetite, and you want to chase it again, and I think that's what players have got to do. You almost look at other clubs with a hint of jealousy and think, well, I want that to be us, but we have the opportunity to do something like that. So I think we're in a great position to try and make that happen.
You're talking about recruiting players. Does that sort of pause a wee bit? Because obviously, while you are still in this process of trying to get there, you can only really mention it to players until you confirm it almost. Yeah,
but we talked about the possibility of trying to achieve it. So when we were talking last season, we talked to players. Okay, we'd stayed up until the league, so we talked about that league, but what we talked about was, well, we want to progress and we want to try and chase the top 6 because that's what we want to be. So that was the sort of the carrot last summer to players, and we've got that. So now we want to try and add another carrot to the ambition, and European football is there. So I think we can still talk about that with potential recruits, because I think it's. They need to see the possibilities. Nothing's guaranteed, But the possibilities to go and play at these levels, I think, is important for players if they've got the right thing about them. So that's what us as a club can try and offer people: the opportunity, the chance. But it's down to us all to try and take those opportunities. So we'll see what the next 3 games bring.